Good morning, guys. Unfrequented World, and today I am in search of another Colonial hotspot. We've been tracking these down the last few weeks. I'm a little out of breath. I just walked probably half a mile to get here. So what I wanted to tell you guys a little bit today is a little bit about the history. We've mentioned some dates on things. Now, most of the stuff is going to be 1700s, but there are trade goods that could go all the way back to the 1600s. The late 1600s. We know that on these trade routes, the British had set up engineering stations, and they actually ran dams. And those dams were put in and maintained circa 1770. And they had already been running these trade routes for 100 years before that, trading with the natives. So all of these things that we refer to as trade goods could be jewelry, rings, the steel arrowheads that we found, any old stuff like that that's trade goods definitely could be that old. Some of the nails that we found could be that old. Most of the stuff is going to be 1700s. Anyway, the story with these guys is, and it blows my mind, I hadn't even envisioned this. We've got a bunch of documents, we've got a bunch of maps, we've got archaeological history. We've done a ton of research on this. These guys were running 36-foot canoes. And in these canoes, they had 6 tons of gear. So now we actually have accounts of people. It wasn't just soldiers that were running these routes. People were coming visiting, and there were higher class people bringing, their stuff on trips as well. Settlers were coming through. So there's lots of stuff to be found. So we actually have an account of a monk that traveled with the soldiers on one of these trips, and he gives exact distances of where they put in, where they put out. And I have traveled to one of these spots today to where they put out, and they went from here across land, probably half a mile, between a quarter mile and a half a mile, to the next spot where they would put back in the river. And that spot where they would put in is the exact spot where we've been showing you guys the boarding house. This is the hillock, guys, where they would have come out, and I'm going to detect all of this right down to the water. So when I'm working these Colonial sites, guys, I put the machine on Pro 0, maximum depth, but I don't discriminate anything. We are on 0, 0. And a lot of these trade goods and things like that will ring up as iron. So, solid 24, solid 28. Essentially, you just dig everything that's here. So half the battle, guys, is doing the research and finding the places where they were. The other half is 300 years has gone by. This is now a field. Well, it's an unused field now, but 100 years ago, it was a farmer's field, and I'm finding evidence of that and some modern construction where they've put a culvert running down into the river here. So I'll show you what I just found. So I just dug this out of here. Definitely not Colonial. Here's some more signs of things that have happened here in the last 50 years. A bunch of cinder blocks and some 6x6. And I'll show you guys right here. There's the culvert that they put in. Well, there's my first something. I don't know what it is, and something tells me that it comes from the era after the fur trade, which is what I'm looking at, but I could be wrong because I don't know what it is. So I'll have to research that. Modern nails, guys, I'm finding a lot of these. So I've moved down the river 100 yards, guys. According to that map that I have, I should be on the exact spot right now. I was just going by the bank of the river and what has a nice slope to it and what is steep. And most of this 100 yards that I just traversed is steep. You wouldn't be able to pull anything up there, let alone a 6-ton canoe. So here I've got a bit of a slope right behind me. So we're going to try here. And for today, that may be it. I'm probably over an hour into this already. I'll put another 40 minutes in here, and then I want to go back to that little park we were at the last video. So it's kind of just get out, boots on the ground, and see if we can find one artifact. That's all I need, is one thing to tell me we're on the right trail, we're in the right spot. So we're going to try here. So I kind of lied. We moved down another 25 yards. I was looking down the edge of the river, and I've got a nice spot that's even flatter going up to this field, and I found a square nail. So there's the first sign of something older, and there's a few more signals here, so let's see what they are. Well, not a great sign. In the same hole, a really old piece of barbed wire, which may have been used to keep cattle off the river 100 years ago, so we'll keep looking. Well, much more modern, I think, than I'm looking for. Well, there's kind of a cool find, guys. Morgan's Pomade. So some kind of salve or something. And it's a broken glass screw top, so I'm not sure the era of that. 40s, 50s, 60s. I'll have to do some research and see what this stuff was and where it came from. Not what we're after, though. So the tendency is to be disappointed, guys. I mean, I'm covered from, you know, the waist down in mud. Burrs, mosquito bites. I was hoping to just come here, sink a shovel, and find an artifact and go, whoo, okay, carry on from here. But that's not how it works, guys. It takes hours of research, hours in the field, you know, tromping around, digging holes. We're not there yet, but stay tuned. We're going to find more. I'm off to the park for now. Well, 1964, there's the first coin. That's right in the area we want to be, so back at it. All right, persistence has paid off. Been here about 35 minutes. And I think I've got something here that we've seen before. I'm going to clean it up, but it's a variation on something we found before. Look at that. So there's a big number 3 there. And under all the grime and everything, it is gold plated. And on the back side, we have this gold plated oval end. Right there. This is all stuck together with some kind of pin down the middle. I'm pretty sure this is a military set of cufflinks. And there's the 3. I'll have to clean this up, guys, but there's gold leaf underneath there anyway. You can see part of it shining through. And then this back one here, it's got a lot more on it. The more I look at this, the more confused I am. It's totally a cufflink, guys. There's the military cufflink. There'll be a metal bar that goes and attaches to the back of the cufflink here. But what is this piece in the middle? It's almost like it's stuck to a nail or something. I was totally right. There was a nail stuck in between the front and the back of the cufflink. That is a really cool turn of the century Canadian military cufflink. Okay, there is an old lead ball, guys. I just found 2 of them. They're old, hand poured. On the one end, they've still got a little nub. On the left-hand side here of this thing, you can see there's a nub on it. They were not modern, so very old. Well, there's a black button of some kind, guys, I think. Kind that you'd pin on. I don't know. That's pretty light. It's not a lid, so it's got to be a button. Okay, so we've got something here, guys. I know on the phone it doesn't look like anything. It's very hard to show you. This is copper. And this is not very far, a couple feet away from where I found that nice piece of jewelry last time. And something's just telling me this is a piece that would have been part of a necklace or jewelry or something, because it's very fine copper. It's not round. It's almost flat, beveled. And it's old. Very old. And it's just too fine of a piece to, for me, I would think, my guess is it's part of a necklace or jewelry or something. And it could very well belong to that piece that we found here in the last video, because the top was broken off of that, and it could have been a loop that attached to a chain or something. And I mean, I'm literally 2 feet away from where I found that piece, so. Alright guys, I noticed a trend. A lot of the older stuff I'm finding was at the back of the park, and behind the park is the river. And I thought, you know, 100 years ago, who wouldn't come down here and go down to the river if they were going to have a picnic? So I started making my way through the bush. I got a really good signal. I dug it up. I don't know if this is a coin or a necklace or what. It's got a hole in it. Let's take a closer look. So it was a solid 72, 73. And it's got a hole in it right there. Well, now I'm confused, guys. There's no writing on it. It's definitely not a coin, but dog tag, but there's no identification on it. Just a 50, 50. No idea, but it's definitely copper. So almost down here at the river, and I got a nice little surface find here, a nice fillet knife. The tip is broken off of it, the very, very tip, but I can grind that right back into shape, no problem. That's a good find. And amongst a bunch of modern junk here, we got another late 1800s Dominion crown, 12 gauge top of the shell, the cap. Back in the park, guys, got another spoon. This one actually has a date on it, so that's kind of cool. It is Rogers 1881 A1, but I'm sure this isn't an 1881 spoon. Here we go, guys. Now we're talking. A wheat penny, 1 cent, and the best part, it's in really good shape. And watch this. Look at the date on that, guys. 1929. And that is going to clean up brilliantly. Look at that, guys. There's another one in excellent shape. 1942, Canadian Georgie. Look what I just found, guys. And you're going to think, oh, he's showing us the same coin. No, I'm not, because there's the one I found last hole. Okay, we got another coin here, guys. Right here, you can see the edge of it. It's like a quarter. Ah, bummer. 1969. Just missed silver by a year. The hole said another coin, and there was. It's a nickel. 1968. Oh, just what I wanted, another spoon. This one says Peerless Silver Plate. No date on this one. Oh well, we'll throw it in the box with the other ones. There it is. There's the haul today. Actually, not bad again at all. The military stuff, I could dig that all day long. I love that stuff. The old pennies, 29, 42s, a couple modern ones in there. Late 1800s cap, and the weird 50 dog tag, which I don't know what it is. The black button, which I don't know again. That's just plain, nothing on it. I saved some copper for John. Couple silver plated spoons, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to clean some of this stuff up and take some nice pictures for you and put them at the end so you can get a better view, and we'll catch you in the next video.